Alright, folks, looks like we got some updates here from Mr. Rave Dubin. And it looks like Sam Seder fans slash trolls, or Dave Rubin trolls who are Sam Seder fans, have really driven Dave Rubin into a safe space. And you'll see what I mean by that. But there are two major updates here from Mr. Rave Dubin. One of them is that he's joining the Blaze. So you guys know about the Blaze. It was Glenn Beck's thing. Apparently it's just basically distribution. Moron Lauren Chen is part of it, so is Stephen Clam Chowder, a bunch of the other, morons. And then the other update here is that Dave Rubin apparently is starting his own tech company, so this is going to be really interesting. Before we get into this, I want to let you guys know that I myself am over on Patreon, patreon.com/deeperaggressivevoice. If you go over there and pledge, you'll be able to access a bunch of patron-only content. Just posted a video about Nico House going off on, David Pacman and Sam Seder and a bunch of other people. Got some content on Destiny and Kyle Klinsky, etc., etc. So make sure to go over there to access that, or you are able to access the same content by becoming a member. Click the join button, youtube.com/deeperaggressivevoice/join. With that said, let's jump back into the video at hand here. So Dave did this He did this last year too, where he's like, I'm back in the grid. So what he does, he does this going off the grid thing where he's really lazy and very financially secure. So he just does his couple interviews, stockpiles them, posts them, and so he doesn't have anything to do. So he just doesn't keep up with politics, goes on a very lengthy vacation, doesn't need to do any work because he's a lazy person. And he's very financially secure. He makes a lot of money for doing nothing. So he comes back on the grid. Now, last time he did this was with Ben Shapiro. This time it's with Glenn Beck, so nobody really watched this, okay? It only has 29,000 views right now. He's, of course, got 1 million subscribers. And we're going to be looking at his stats later on. But I want you to hear Dave Rubin speaking about his new announcement about his tech company.
Is that I would not want that.
Right.
I did what I thought was the right thing, which is I started a tech company about 6 months ago. And I went to literally one investor. I got investment. I started it with a really great startup guy that I know. And we are building a seriously awesome, what will first be a Rubin Report app. So we're building it because what I thought was I can't solve everyone's problems first. I want to solve my problem first. I want to make sure I can always communicate with my audience. I want to make sure my audience can communicate with me. I want to make sure my videos can be posted, and if people actually subscribe, they can see them and not be manipulated. I want to figure out ways to have real community building where audience members can communicate with each other without fear of censorship or being destroyed. I want to figure out how to monetize that properly, so that subscribers, because if you have a subscription service, you've eliminated 99% of the trolls, because you can say a lot of things about the trolls, but the trolls are cheap, and the trolls are not, nobody's going to pay me to troll me. But if you subscribe to me,
they will.
But if you do, guess what? I'm not creating a platform for everyone where I'm going to be hurting your free speech. I just won't take your money, and bye-bye, you're gone. So I think what we have built here is a huge community-based, subscription-based solution to what I think is the giant platform problem. I think the platform, we've created an incredible terms of service, actually, which once we're going into beta, I'll explain that in just a sec, but once we perfect this for the Rubin Report, then we're going to invite everybody to get their own app. You will have Glenn Beck can have it, the Blaze can have it, you can be a gamer and have it, a sports guy and have it, you can unbox videos or whatever the hell else they're doing on YouTube. And you will be able to create your own terms of service for your own community. And we're not keeping any of your data, period. I will never sell your data. I don't want your data. I don't need this thing to scale so that I'm worth $1 billion. So every one of the issues that everyone has been talking about all along, I thought, I can't solve it for everybody yet. Let's go small first. So we've created a really great tech company. So the reason I'm mentioning this is so everyone that's a subscriber of mine now at support.daverubin.com eventually will have access to the app. And as of this week, we're going to go into beta launch where we're just selecting members that are going to help us test it through.
All right, so you kind of get the gist of it. I mean, it's going on a bit long, but you get the gist there. So earlier when I explained to you, or I stated to you that it looks like the Sam Seder fans slash Dave Rubin trolls. Remember I did a video on Dave Rubin's collapsing channel like a couple days ago or a week ago, something like that. I forgot the exact time. But I showed you how the comment section was just filled with debate Yam Yeater, debate Zam Zeter, and Sam Cedar with $signs instead of S's because allegedly the name Sam Cedar was banned from the comment section. So, you know, the trolls have been getting to him for a while. And in fact, if you remember from months ago, this is a long, long time ago. We're talking like 6, 7 months at this point, where I did a video on his Rubin Select program where it's like, oh, become a patron and we'll have a little community where we can all talk about these ideas. And so he's had this idea in his mind of like, how can I weed out the trolls? What's funny there is he also says that trolls are cheap. Someone donated $100 on a super chat asking him if he would debate the Majority Report in a very I think it was some dude named Logic. I want to give him a shout out for that. He did end up getting a refund because YouTube basically, I guess, looked at it and was like, oh, he didn't answer your super chat, so I'm going to give you a refund. But he literally sent $100 basically saying, you know, oh, these idiots over on the Majority Report, could you demolish them, please? And, you know, he goes, no. He said he refused to say the term the Majority Report. And I saw a bunch of other people sending super chats asking him to debate Zam Zeter as well. So it's like, he's just wrong there. I think people will sign up for that, but it's sort of this safe space. Now, is there reason to want something like that? I don't know. I mean, maybe, but what's sort of important here is that he's kind of making his own safe space, essentially, by putting in a paywall. But I'm still convinced that there will be people who will do it, who are like Sam Cedar fans, you know, who are Yam Yeater fans, or Zam Zeter, or whatever. Whatever hilarious roundabout way of Sam Cedar, you know, the fans of his have been putting in Rubin's comment section. I think some of them will still do it, honestly. But in addition to that, when you're talking about his little tech company, I'm a little bit confused as to what he means by you can have your own app. Like, I don't really know what that means. So it's like, it's a Dave Rubin app, and then there's a terms of service for it, but you can have your own app which fosters your own community. I don't get it. So is it like an app within an app? Like, is there one central app that I download, or is it like if someone creates their own app from your website? Or I'm a little bit confused there as well. But basically what he's trying to do is he's like, yo, how can I set up this infrastructure that everyone keeps begging for on the right, where we need like some sort of a Patreon-like system? And so Dave Rubin's like, yo, this is a really good financial opportunity. I can make a lot of money from this by having other people on this platform, because I can do like processing fees and stuff like that and make some extra cash for doing nothing. You know what I mean? So I think he kind of jumped on that opportunity. But I don't know. I mean, let me know if you think it's going to work out or if it's going to fail or what is going to happen with that. Because to be honest with you, I don't know if it's going to work out. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen with that, but it's pretty significant to note that Sam Cedar fans have really driven Mr. Rave away. And to the second portion of this that we have is Mr. Rave Dubin explaining that he is teaming up with Blaze.
Well, I'm not leaving YouTube. Now, they may not be happy with me. There's all sorts of business opportunities. I mean, I don't know how many times I have to say it here, but without beating a dead horse, I just don't buy the YouTube game anymore. I just think
we have to be ubiquitous.
Yes, I want my stuff out there. I don't care how you watch it or how you listen to it, whether you like it in bites or the full thing or all of those things. Anyway, I've had offers from pretty much everybody that anyone can think of that have tried to make me offers. And the one thing that I've always said to everybody is it took me this long to become completely independent, as we are in my house. I have no boss. The chance that Dave Rubin says something one day and then Dave Rubin fires Dave Rubin are pretty slim, although I suppose anything's possible. But every offer that we got, basically, I was going to have to give up some level of control. There was going to be something related to what we produce or how we produce it or the amount that we produce it or some version of that. And nothing worked for me. Then about a month, whatever, I don't even remember anymore. A certain amount of time ago, I had started having some conversations with Tyler, who runs the Blaze. Does he run the Blaze? Is that
he's
a fair?
CEO, yeah.
Is that the CEO of the Blaze? And obviously,
but I think with this deal, you're my boss, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be your host.
I think you're going to tell me what to do.
So here we go. So that was the thing. I have that over here.
Yeah.
You actually,
I didn't mean to shake on that.
So here's the deal. So look, the Rubin Report is staying exactly where it is. It's staying on YouTube. The podcast is staying. All my subscribers are still getting everything that they're getting. But we will also be distributed on the Blaze. We're going to tie some bonds between the incredible infrastructure that you've built, because I've told you when I've gone to the studios in Dallas, you guys have awesome sound stages, and there's incredible things that we can do.
Yeah.
So anyway, the deal.
All right, so there you have it. He is joining the Blaze. All right, he's joining the Blaze. So what that basically means is, and by the way, he's really sweaty here for some reason. I don't know why. His forehead is as bright as Joe Rogan's head during podcasts. His cheeks are like sweating it up. I don't know. Glenn Beck's face doesn't look like it's sweating at all, but it looks like Dave's is just really sort of going through the roof here. Not exactly sure why. The lighting I know can be hot. But, so he's teaming up with the Blaze. Now, I guess this is just a distribution where it's like, oh, this is just some, I guess the Blaze gives him some money for basically allowing them to distribute his content is what it seems to be. Now, a lot of people who are like Stephen Clam Chowder fans and other people like that, they got really angry with them, or with Glenn Beck in general, and they didn't want them to join the Blaze because they were saying that I think it was blamed on Glenn that Gavin was pushed out or something like that of CRTV or whatever. So that's pretty interesting here. But he's joining the Blaze. Now, we look at some of these statistics here, right? Over on Social Blade, the good old Social Blade, you can see that Mr. Rave, he really is dropping big time, folks. If you look at these numbers, and we looked at these numbers last time, folks, they're just, completely in the... I mean, look at this cliff jump off, dude. He went from averaging, like, between 4 and 6 million a month, all the way down to 2 here, and then he bounced back with all sub 3s. So his channel is really hurting. Same thing with subs, if you look at it here. If you look at the sub number right here, you can see it jumped off a cliff. He went from averaging, between 20 and like 30K, and I'm convinced a lot of these are bots, by the way. Anna Kasparian did say that Dave Rubin used to buy Twitter follower bots, so definitely would not put it past him. In fact, I would suspect that he's probably doing that on YouTube as well. But as you can see, this just straight up fell off a cliff, dude. Like, we're talking now you're in like single digits most months, except for this one right here. But this dude's channel is really collapsing at this point. And then, not even just that, but if we look at this right here, if we look at these videos right here, I mean, he's like, these video views are garbage, dude. I mean, like, some of my videos are eclipsing these, dude, and I have like 41K subs. He's got 1 million. Like, you're talking about this video with Glenn Beck, the live stream, him come back off on the grid, has only got 29K views. That's it. 29,000, that's all. And a lot of these videos, this one has 8.6, bro. Like, this is the thing. And even this Charlie Kirk one right here, 91K, then 31K. Like, these are low numbers, you know what I'm saying? So I think Charlie Kirk's from the year before had like doubled the numbers or something like that. So he's really in trouble. The numbers are really going down here. Like, look, this video has 10,000, this video has 16, this one has 10, like, this is bad. These are horrible numbers for a channel with 1 million subscribers. These are really bad. And what I need to explain to you also is that there's 2 people, 3 people, 4 people actually, sorry, if you want to look at the entirety of the Rubin Report. There are 4 people who have been responsible for this man's growth. Sam Harris, which kicked off his show and propelled it to being anything in the first place and really big in the first place. Then he ditched him once he lost his popularity. Sam Harris has really waned in his popularity. No one really talks about him all that much anymore. Then he jumped on the Milo train. Then he ditched him once he got too controversial. So he took advantage of him, then dipped on him. That's why Milo was pissed at him, understandably so. And then Jordan Peterson, or first it was Ben Shapiro, actually. He jumped on his train. Then it was Jordan Peterson who he jumped on. And actually, he did a little double action, you know what I'm saying? We're not going to use the P. But there was some double action going on with where he would have both Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro on front lines of free speech, and that would get like 1 million views, you know what I'm saying? So those are the people who are the breadwinners. No one likes Dave, like no one cares about, like, who is this? I don't even know who this guy is. Jamie Metzel sounds like a clown. No one really cares about Charlie Kirk. Nobody cares about any of these people. Blake Harris, like, I mean, I just don't know what to tell you. Like, no one cares about these guys, and more importantly, no one really cares about Dave Rubin. The thing is the thing about Dave Rubin's content is, like, it's not even like anybody really cares about Dave Rubin, you know? I don't even know what would motivate you or what would make you be a Dave Rubin fan. Like, what does he do? What does he do? He just, like, allows a guest to come on and just do a monologue, unless you're anti-Trump, that is, like David Frum. But I just don't get it. Like, he doesn't do any, like, he doesn't add anything to his content. It's entirely dependent on his guests. And they do all the talking, and he just sits back and watches. You know, so I don't even know how you could be a fan of Dave Rubin. It just doesn't seem to make any sense. But anyways, with that said, folks, as you guys saw there, Dave Rubin's starting his own tech company because he is done with the Yam Yeater fans. And in addition, looks like he's joining the Blaze. So let me know your thoughts on this down below. Very curious to hear them.